so tightly together into a ball in the tree's roots, hiding from them. I'm absolutely terrified. So the answer to the question on how can Sarah get from this boy who's self-abusive to the boy who's riding with the animus, the next dream shows by facing into your fear. This is the place while the boy acts out, jumping around, or then it goes into morphing into helping others. This is what's under it all, this terror. And this, I don't think, Sarah, you've ever known this fear was here. Is that correct? Until you had it in the dream, or have you known it?
I've been learning it in my dreams. Yes. This particular dream, the terror is what this dream really has taught me is how deeply underground I go into complete like it's so primal to go into these tree roots and into the mud with this child and to be so full of terror in the dark, so in the unknown world. It's different. It's a different terror than I've ever felt.
So now stand up with another dream. I'm showing my beautiful and beloved cowgirl boots to my mother. Who I'm afraid is disapproving. I tell her that I wore high heels with the dress.
I love these boots, but actually when I was wearing a nice dress, I didn't wear them. I wore nice shoes.
I'm trying to placate her. Then I'm walking through the deep snow with my dogs down a narrow path. In front of us is a woman. It's the second story of the same dream. Her 2 kids and their dogs. I try to stay far behind because I'm afraid my dogs will be aggressive to hers. I linger, filling small jars with pee.
That's my shame.
But show how you do that in the dream. She turns around to head back my way. This mother. I toss out the pee and hurry to gather my stuff so I can avoid a confrontation. Now in this dream, this is not her mother. This is the anima. But what's happened is, this is an example of trauma that you're experiencing with your mother, and the feeling of, and this is what the other thing was that I just recurred to me, that in the other dream, well, let's just stay with here. So you were so frightened by your mother that even a woman who loves you is not acceptable. So you can't see when there's love coming at you. Better to be the one that knows where to get the love from for someone else than for you to be the person who gets the support. And again, the trauma is when you go down to the tree, into that terror, that's the trauma. We talked earlier about archetypal fear and fear that has to do with trauma. This is fear that has to do with trauma. But it gets you to the same place. So by feeling the feeling of trauma with the child, you become the child that can eventually know the love of the mother. But any other way, you're probably going to be blocked from achieving that relief. So if we were to, an example how we might work it is, you're back under the roots, you're in that feeling, and then the mother, with 2 kids, 2 children, and instead of running away, you can bring these 2 dreams together in a way where, in this terror, the anima can start to face her. But the key to this piece of work is that Sarah has to feel her fear. Otherwise, she can't begin to let in the love of the mother. And we haven't worked this right in this way. So let's see, I know there's an audience, but see if you can feel that, if that fits. Or you can feel a connection between this dream and what's happening there.
I can, and I can because this has been my homework all week, so I've been working with it.
Yeah, I've been working with it. Now another way to work it is for you to stand up and then be one of her kids. So switch, Robin. Now you're in the roots as Sarah. Now you're with the mom, trying to get to Sarah. Now what do you feel there, Sarah?
I really love this place. I love the touch of being with her and so close.
So even though Sarah is in trauma, in this instance she's able to switch it back and feel the child that's with the mother in this dream. This is called dream splicing, where you can take two dreams and bring them together and have a result. This is more advanced work. This is more of a second stage work. Do you want to talk about the relationship between your fear and your trauma and this for a second? Versus the know-it-all helmet helping the boy.
Well, I think the most important thing about my trauma is that it totally takes me out of relationship. It makes me, it makes me hide in the deepest, darkest, far away, safest corner that I can find. And in every relationship that I've had in my entire life, I am at least one step, if not 100 steps removed. Even though I'm standing right here and I look like I'm here, I'm not. I'm really defended. Part of that defense is to not feel, which is what happened with the little boy, to just shut down all my feelings. Did I answer that?
Yes, you did. Any questions to this?
I just want to say this is a lot that you just witnessed, and this is a new dream, so this is, this is powerful stuff that's happening right here. And what Marc just did is a pretty advanced thing to do, to put these two dreams together and have Sarah go between the two, to go from a place of her trauma to a place where she actually feels this love. So I can't remember who asked the question, like, why do the strings? Because new things actually come in the moment, and we're actually getting to witness that right now, that by her willingness to go into the roots and feel her fear, and because she's done this work for a long time and she's a warrior lady, she can go towards this love, even though you're hearing from her how far back she's held herself from love all her life. So it's a pretty amazing moment to be witnessing.
Thank you, Sarah.
Can I ask a question about just the recognizing the anima figure? Like, what about that dream and that woman in that dream said that it was an anima?
Well, you noticed that in the other dream with the cowboy boots, with her mother, she's getting, that woman is disapproving.
So that's not the anima
Right.
figure. I think I get confused because they were so close together and
Exactly.
it was still Ellie. So
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's because it was. But are you clear now? So that was her experience with her
Right.
mother, that her mother, in a way, was more important than her daughter was. When mothers are competitive with their daughters, it's absolutely devastating for the daughter.